السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على عبدك ورسولك وحبيبك سيدنا Muhammad صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. Okay, this is the second lesson about Surah At-Talaq. The first lesson, just an introduction, talk about what is before talaq, what is before divorce. Today, also the end of the introduction, we talk about the marriage and how marriage should be successful or could be successful. Today also we talk about, before we go to divorce, we have to know that problems between spouses could happen. And there is a minor problems which happen between any spouse in the world. Even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sometimes faced some jealousy between his wives, and he tried to solve this problem. Even in one of the best family after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Imam Ali radiyallahu anhu and Sayyidatuna Fatima radiyallahu anha. In Sahih Bukhari, one day Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to their house and he asked about where is Ali, and Fatima radiallahu said there was conflict between us, and he left the house. Rasulullah sallam went to the masjid and he found Ali radiallahu anhu taking a nap in that masjid, and at that time there's no carpet, just sound. So he said, "Qum Aba Turab, Qum Aba Turab, stand up, Aba Turab." Turab is a dust. Then Ali said this became the best nickname because Rasulullah sallam, he said Aba Turab. The point here is there is always these minor problems is the salt of any marriage. But so if that happen and it become a major problems, then we should seek reconciliation. We should look at this and we should try to solve this problem between the spouses. If not, then we should involve a wise people from both sides to try to help in reconciliation. Wise, very important, wise people to reconciliate. And sometimes, brothers and sisters, problems just very minor, but if we don't solve it quickly, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Sometimes you heard that a couple, they get divorced after 30 years of 20 years. In many of these cases, the problem is not recently. Problem is from the first year. But sometimes because of traditions, norms, it's shame to get divorced, and then it lasts for many years and then end up with the divorce. Nowadays, a lot of cases I face in counseling that sometimes the couples is just for very minor issues, but none of them sit down with the other and explain these problems. For example, there's two couples, they have a problems, and when I ask them, what's the problem? He said that my wife is very disciplined, very organized. Whenever I come to the house, I put my shoes in a place, he become angry. I told you 100 times, don't do that. So, okay, this type of problem, you should sit down and discuss in the beginning. Sometimes you don't like something in the marriage. It's very minor also, but you can't afford it. It's for you something big. For example, if your wife dress, for example, certain color, and you have a problem psychologically with that color, it's very minor, but you should say it explicitly, because when you say it straight away, she will change, and that's it. Sometimes we hold in ourselves for a while, and then we just like bomb one time. Why? Because there is no discussion between spouses. Okay, imagine now there is a problem and they involve wise people. There is no way for that. Then the Sharia now came with the divorce. Divorce could be the best solution When we talk about divorce, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said in Surah An-Nisa, وَإِن يَتَفَرَّقَا يُغْنِ اللَّهُ كُلًّا مِّن سَعَتِهِ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ وَاسِعًا حَكِيمًا. When Allah talk about divorce, He talk about it in a very positive way. He say, if there is no solution and they want to get divorced, Allah will give both of them good alternative. That's it. Divorce, according to many norms and traditions in Muslim countries, is for them just like a disaster, like a big musibah. For some traditions, that when the divorcee woman, they look at her at this, it's finished, it's just like a death. There is no chance to get married again. Why? That's just norms and traditions. Even in the time of Rasulullah sallam, we have many women, they get divorced and straight away they also get married straight away. Because divorce, for Quranic perspective, it just could be the best solution. Transition for a woman, and then both of them, and then they can go, and Allah will give them both a good alternative. So the first thing we should do, change the mindset, change how we look at divorce, how we look at the divorced woman. It just, there is incompatibility, she could have a chance very easily. That's what the Quranic perspective. In my country, Mauritania, the divorcee woman can get married very easily. And there is a documentary, I think more than 15 million watched them. I didn't watch it till everyone, oh, you are from Mauritania. I watch a divorce about your country. I heard that a divorcee woman can get married very easily. I'm shocked. So that's what is in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is norms. We should always separate, we should always differentiate between Sharia and norms and traditions. Is it from Sharia that the divorced woman, there's no chance? No, this is from Jahiliyyah. This is from Jahiliyyah, this is just traditions. Divorce in Quranic perspective could be the best solution. وَإِن يَتَفَرَّقَا يُغْنِ اللَّهُ كُلًّا مِّن سَعَتِهِ. And that type of relationship, which is there is no way for reconciliation, and they try a lot, if they don't get divorced as soon as possible, after 20 years, they will get with a lot of psychological problems. I know many cases like this. That's why Qur'an, because Allah is the creator, He knows our nature. He knows that divorce could be the best solution. Why? Because they come together, there's no compatibility, for example. They try, nothing. Why not? That's point number one today. Point number two. Divorce is in the hand of man in Sharia. Our sisters may ask, why the divorce is not in the hand of women? I will explain that in two methods. Number one, I will talk about three types of separation in Sharia. Divorce is just one type of how the families, if they want to finish this relationship, there is two types of to finish this relationship. Divorce is just one. There's divorce, there's khula', there is fasakh. We'll explain that. And the second part is why divorce is in the hand of the man. We start with the second one. Why divorce is in the hand of the man? Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala explained in Surah An-Nisa, الرجال قوامون على النساء. He said, men, every institution, every people come together, they should choose, if there is a conflict, should be a manager for that institution. Sharia put that manager to the hand of men. And Allah explained that. He said for two reasons. بِمَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بَعْضَهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ وَبِمَا أَنفَقُوا مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ. First reason, he said there's an in nature of man, divorce should be in his hand. Why? Women, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala created them in a nature that they are more emotional than men, in majority. Yes, there can be some women more, yes, but that's not the majority. They are more emotional. Why they are more emotional? Because they will become mothers. And mother need a lot of emotion for her children. If one child feels sick, mother could stay awake for 1 week. Man, he will take the pillow and go to another room straight away. That's emotional of mothers. That's for her nature, because Allah wants them to raise children. More emotional. Women, they face also menstrual cycle every month. And during that period, there is a lot of change in hormone. There is a lot of psychological changes. So man, in this, Allah gives them talaq. Why? To hold himself and be more rational if he want to give divorce. You know, there's many times that women, when they become angry, straight away, get me divorce. That's just normal. So, and the man will hold himself. For example, if the woman is in her menstrual cycle, for example, and she's not in the mood, for example, and the divorce in her hand, he miskin came to the house and divorce 100 times. Because Allah knows the nature of both of us. That's why if the woman asks you divorce, majority of women, they will never give that. Because no, this is just emotional. Maybe after 1 hour, after a few hours, she will come down. So because of that rationality, man should hold this to be, then control this issue. But that's not the only reason. The second reason, وَبِمَا أَنفَقُوا مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ. Because in Sharia, the man is the one who is responsible financially for everything literally in marriage. He is the one who should provide the dowry, the mahar. He is the one who should provide the accommodation. He is the one who should provide the provision and all stuff, all medical care. All these things is just the responsibility of man. Then it's rational to have the divorce in his hand. Because when he wants to give divorce, he will think rationally a lot. Because he spent a lot of money. If he got divorced now, then there is a lot of also financial responsibility after divorce, as we explain in this surah. And then if he married to another wife, there is another responsibilities. Then he said no. He will think about that a lot. For these two reasons, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala give the divorce in the hand of men. And in the end of the day, Muslim and Muslima, if something in Qur'an and Sunnah, this we have to say, Sami'na wa ata'na. We hear and we obey. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala talk about this in Qur'an. Then, but you may ask, what if the woman doesn't like man? Is it obligatory for her to stay in that marriage forever? No, Sharia doesn't do that. That's not fair. What if the man harmed the woman? What if the man neglect the woman? Now we talk with this first part. There's 3 ways to finish the relationship of marriage in Islam. How many ways? 3. The first one is divorce, which is in the hand of man. That's the first one. And we talk about the rules here in this surah. Divorce always, when Allah mentioned in Quran, بِمَعْرُوف بِإِحْسَان. It means divorce should be in the best way. It's not hatred, it's not war, it's just incompatibility. Should do it in the best way. That's the way number 1. Way number two called khula'. Allah talk about in Surah Al-Baqarah, الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان. Then he talk about khula'. What does khula' mean? Khula' mean basically the woman is the one who initiate divorce, but in a certain way. Woman now, she can't give divorce, but number one, she can't continue in that marriage. The man doesn't do anything to the woman. He doesn't harm her, he doesn't abuse her, he doesn't do anything wrong. However, the woman said, I can't continue. In that case, she can do what we call khula'. We explain it now. Number two, for example, another reason that a woman, when she explained this zawaj, she found that there is no compatibility. Man, he said, no, there's a compatibility, but woman, she said, no, I don't think we can continue. Again, man doesn't do anything wrong. Okay? In this case, the woman can initiate a divorce, which is called how? She should give to the man compensation. What's that compensation? The dowry. She can return back the dowry totally or part of dowry just upon agreed both of them. Why this? Because as a man, he pay financially everything. He pay everything, and now the woman herself want to finish this. The man is ready, and he pay, and he didn't do anything wrong. Then it's rational. Now, if you as a woman want to finish, that's fine. I can't force you to be with me, but what about that financial matters I paid? Then she should give some compensation. As they agreed, either the total dowry or part of dowry, and they agreed with that, and they finished the relationship. That's the second way. The first way is what? Divorce from men. Second, khula' from women. The third one is called fasakh. Fasakh means the man now did something wrong to the woman, harm her, abuse her, or neglected her. Either abuse or harm, physically, psychologically, or neglect. Yes? Okay, we'll come to that. Okay, because man is already have a right of the divorce. Some men here ask, what if the woman harm the men? Okay, if the woman harm the men already have the right to divorce straight away. But because woman doesn't have, that's why. So the third way, the man now harm the woman, abuse her, or neglected her. He always outside the house. He doesn't pay the financial matters. He doesn't pay all the bills or all these things for several months. In this case, the woman have a right to go to a Muslim judge. And that Muslim judge will investigate, will prove, is that abuse or harm or neglect? Is it true or not true? If it's true, then the judge now has a right to finish that relationship, even without the consent of a man. If it's obvious, if the harm or abuse or neglect is obvious for the Muslim court, then the Muslim court can finish that relationship. Why? Because in Islam, this relationship for harmony, for peace, for tranquility. If the man want to abuse and take his right that he can divorce whatever he wants, no, that's not fair here. Sharia now interfered and said, no, we have to finish this relationship. So that's 3 ways for finishing the relationship of marriage. I hope it's clear. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions. Then this surah talk about the first option, which is divorce. How can we do that? Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said in Surah At-Talaq, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن. Start with, O you prophet. O prophet. يا أيها النبي. This is a unique introduction. Because he said, يا أيها النبي, and straight away he shift the discourse here. He said, إِذَا طَلَّقْتُمُ النِّسَاء. He talked after that to the believers, not to the prophet. If he talked to the prophet, he would say, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّبِيُّ إِذَا طَلَّقْتَ. If you divorce, O prophet. He didn't say that. He said, O prophet. Then he straight away shift here and talk to the believers. O believers, if you... Then why he mentioned the prophet? Just to illustrate the significance of talaq. This is something very big. You have to take it seriously. You have to do it Islamically. Because in talaq, it's a high chance for hatred or go beyond the limit of Sharia. As we now always heard now in counseling, that one of the man, I swear by God, I will never let you see your children. All this going beyond the limit. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said, talaq is something serious. So he talked to the Prophet as an owner. And we have 3 surahs in Qur'an, Ya Ayyuhan Nabi, Tahrim, and At-Talaq, and Al-Ahzab. 3 of them is about the family issues. When they mention the name of the Prophet, this means take it seriously. This surah is something very important. Then he starts the first hukum. إِذَا طَلَّقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ فَطَلِّقُوهُنَّ لِعِدَّتِهِنَّ. Literally means if you intend to divorce women, then concern about their period time. Give them talaq in the specific time. That's the first hukum we have in this surah. We have to know that the men, they can't give talaq in any time. There is a specific time a husband should give talaq in that. If not, if he gives talaq in any other times, he is sinful. This is haram. That's a consensus between scholars. What's that specific time? He should give divorce when the wife finish her cycle month, and then she is now in purity, and then he doesn't touch her, doesn't sleep with her in that period. Again, 2 things. Woman should finish the cycle month, and then the husband doesn't sleep with her after that, and then he give divorce. Why Sharia specify a specific time? Because Sharia want the decision of talaq to be very rational, not emotional. How's that? If the man give divorce in the cycle month, that could be not emotional. Because usually the wife in cycle month, the mood is go ups and down. So she's now not in the mood. He become angry, he give the divorce. That's not rational decision. Also, if she's in the cycle month, maybe because he can't fulfill his desires, so he become angry, get divorced. That's not a rational decision. So it should be not. If any husband give divorce to the woman in the cycle month, this is haram. Consensus in 4 madahib, called talaq bid'i in all the book of fiqh. This is haram. He is a sinful. Okay, if a man if the woman finished the cycle month, and then she is in the purity, and then he sleep with her, and then give divorce. That's not rational. That's not a good. Should be rational because you can fulfill your desire, and you said, no, I want to give this decision, talaq. That's the first hukum here. So, what's the two conditions here? The woman to be in the cycle month, and then he should not sleep with her after, and then give divorce. Any time other than this is haram. فَطَلِّقُوهُنَّ لِعِدَّتِهِنَّ. Okay, now a man give divorce. Can give divorce by verbally. He can give divorce by phone. That's also valid. He can divorce by writing. Anything. In my country, divorce is always by writing. They never give it verbally. So they always, a letter come to the... Anyway, I don't know if the woman prefer this or this. Okay, may Allah Ta'ala protect all the sisters from divorce. Okay, so if he give divorce, number one, you have to know that Allah said, At-talaqu marratan. It means when you give divorce, give it just once. There's no such that you give her 3 divorce in one time. Again, that's haram. Consensus between scholars. This is haram. Talaq, you should give it once, because there is a lot of process after that. So when you give divorce, then she now entering what Qur'an called it Iddah, waiting period. What does that mean? It means when the husband gives talaq, that doesn't mean the relationship is finished. No, at all. Say it again. When the husband give the divorce in the first time, that doesn't mean the relationship is finished. Okay? That just means a process now for that start. So he give the divorce in the first of Shawwal, for example, or first of Ramadan. Ramadan is a sacred month. First of Muharram, okay? He give a divorce of first of Muharram, okay? Now the Iddah start, the period, waiting period, which this surah will explain in details. But usually 3 cycle months, menstrual months for women. Why cycle month? Why Qur'an link the waiting period with the cycle month of women? We'll come to that, what's the wisdom behind Iddah. But let me explain how the process of talaq will go. So the husband, if he gives the talaq in the first of Muharram, so usually it's 3 months. Now she entered the waiting Iddah. What should they do? Allah said, لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن. She still his wife. She should stay at home. If the husband say to his wife, go to your family, that's haram. Because the first talaq is not the finish, it's just start a waiting period. She should stay at home. If the woman herself went to go straight away by herself, that's haram also. She's still wife. You know, in many films, or we saw a long time ago, that's always when the woman get divorced, when there's always a bag on the cupboard, and the woman take the bag, put her stuff, went to her family. That's not from Sharia. That's wrong. She's still a wife. Stay at home. لا تخرجوهن. He talked to the husband, don't say to them, go to their families. ولا يخرجن. And he talked to the woman, don't leave the house. You're still a wife. Still a wife? Then why? He gave her divorce. Yes, but divorce in Islam is a long process. Because Islam always look at the reconciliation again. will not finish till the period, till the iddah finish, till after 3 months approximately. Okay, why she should stay at home? Because this is a time for a man to reflect upon this decision again. Maybe it's not rational. Maybe there is a children between them. Maybe he look at the consequences. So he will return her in the period. And they became wife, divorce finished. So Islam look at this. So this is a very important point here, that the first, when the husband say divorce, that doesn't mean zawaj is finished. That just means the process is start. The wife still, the woman still a wife, not leaving that house, everything is okay, because this is a time for reflection. Okay, then suppose now the first cycle month finish, and still the husband didn't do anything. The second cycle month finish. Now the third cycle month now finish. It's now not wife anymore. If she completed her iddah, her 3 cycle months, or there's a lot of types of iddah, or 3 months, or if she completed that, she's not wife anymore. She should go to her family. A husband can't return her unless she come and give a new proposal, and she agree with that, a new dowry, a new wedding, everything new. That's called baynuna sughra. It means now irrevocable, but a minor, not major. What does minor mean? It means they can come together, return, but like they are new couples, with her agreement, a new dowry, everything is new, a new contract of marriage. That's how the processes go. So that's waiting period. This waiting period could be 3 cycle months, could be 3 months, could be just by when she give birth, if she is pregnant, the waiting period will finish. Let me give the last example. Suppose now she is pregnant, the wife is pregnant. Okay? And she now is in the beginning of the 9th month, in the end of pregnancy. And now the husband give her the talaq. Now the waiting period start. But the waiting period will finish when the wife give birth. Not 3 cycle months. No, just when she give birth, the chance is finished. So if now give birth after 1 month, no chance after that. What if they, after pregnancy, they said, oh, we want to come together and we want to become spouse again? What's the solution here, guys? Very good, alhamdulillah. It's very clear now. It's a new marriage with her agreement, a new dowry, just a new couples. In that, yes, they can. So that's the process here. Last thing, what's the wisdom with that waiting period? There's several reasons for waiting period. Waiting period called in Qur'an Iddah. Iddah, why Iddah? Number 1, the primary reason is to make sure that the woman is not pregnant. To make sure that the wife is not pregnant. Why? Because Islam wants to protect the lineage. If she is pregnant and get divorced and there's no waiting period and she get married with another man, there's a problem. So that's a primary. That's why in Surah Al-Ahzab, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نكحتم المؤمنات ثم طلقتموهن من قبل أن تمسوهن فما لكم عليهن من عدة تعتدونها. If a man sign a contract, marriage contract with a woman, however, there is no intimacy, It's just a contract. And then he give her a divorce before they come together. Just contract. Is there any waiting period? What do you think? There's no waiting period. Because this is not a full marriage. It's just a contract. They don't come together. There's no intimacy. So there's no waiting period. That's why the primary reason is to make sure if it's pregnant or not. Reason number 2, what we explained recently. A reason or wisdom for iddah is a time for reflect upon the decision. Yes, a husband give a divorce. That's just start the process. Why the process is long? Why there is waiting period? Because to reflect again and again upon the decision. That's the second wisdom. The third wisdom, sometimes the iddah is not because of divorce. It's because of the husband passed away. There is a waiting period. How many? 4 months and 10 days. 4 months and 10 days should the woman stay, no marriage, after her husband passed away. What's the wisdom? That's also for the woman, for that grief, for to healing psychologically. She will start a new chapter in her life. Just to that grief after the death of her husband. That's why it's more than 3 months. It's 4 months and 10 days. It's nearly third of a year. That's another thing also. Last thing, the wisdom of period, linking with the cycle month for a woman a time for healing, psychologically also. And reflect upon, for her, upon a new chapter in her life. So, inshallah, next time we'll continue, bi'inillah ta'ala. But today is the most important process, to know the process of talaq and how it should be. And next time, inshallah, we talk about how talaq will be the best, ihsan. If there's any questions in 5 minutes, yes. The waiting period. Okay. The relationship between man and woman in waiting period. She is there. If the man decide to sleep with woman, then that means he return her again. Once they sleep together, it means waiting period is finished, and they became couples again, and the divorce is finished. Yes, that's considered one divorce. That's not haram at all. But when they sleep together, that means he came again and he said, divorce is finished now, and we count one divorce, and that's it. That's one of the reasons for this, for the woman to stay there and may return. He will say after that, لَعَلَّ اللَّهَ يُحْدِثُ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ أَمْرًا. May Allah tabarak wa ta'ala, something will happen if she stay there. Yes? Yes? Okay, good. What if the husband give a divorce for the wife during the cycle month? It's a consensus, it's haram, called talaq bid'i. That's no difference, no disagreement between scholars. This is haram. He is sinful for that. However, does that talaq become a valid or not? For the vast majority of scholars, yes, it's valid. For the 4 madhahib, they are valid. For some minor scholars, it's not valid. These minor scholars, the majority of Islamic courts, at least in my knowledge, in Arab countries, they follow this minor opinion that it's not valid because of a lot of cases of talaq in this. So, but yes, in the vast majority, it's valid. It's haram, but it's valid. Why this agreement? It's just interpretation of hadith Ibn Umar. There's a hadith of Umar, he give divorce, and they just have a, is Rasulullah said counted or not counted? Yes. If the wife is in the first month of the pregnancy, means the waiting period is for 8 months. Yes. He will say very explicitly, وَأُولَاتُ الْأَحْمَالِ أَجَلُهُنَّ أَنْ يَضَعْنَ حَمْلَهُنَّ. Very explicit in this surah. Yes. Come here. I expect a lot of questions from sisters. Okay. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. What if husband is saying 3 divorce at one sitting? Okay. What if the husband say 3 divorce in one sittings? For the majority of scholars, they count it as 3. And the talaq is finished totally. For the majority of scholars, they count this 3, which is haram, but they count it as 3, and the talaq is finished. Again, for a minor scholars, which is always also in many Arab course, they follow this, they count it as 1. Again, it's around interpretation of hadith in Sahih Muslim, hadith Umar. كان الطلاق على عهد رسول الله. So in the majority of scholars, it's counted 3 and it's finished. In minor scholars, it's 1. And it's all interpretation about the ayah الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف. Is it, can a man finish all the talaq in one time? Or as a minor of scholars, he can't. This is impossible because Sharia has a process for that to be in this. Yes. Okay. He asked about the fasakh, which is the 3rd way to finish the talaq when the husband harm or abuse the woman or neglect her rights, for example. They will go to the Islamic court. Okay, in this type, it's just a case in the court. I can't give you a one answer because there is a lot of investigation and depend to the case or neglect or harm. If it's neglect, for example, then there's a compensation definitely. If there is, it depends. Yes. Yes. Okay. Just 1 minute. I'll come to your question. Sorry, I forgot your question. Oh, sorry. Allahu Akbar. Okay. Sorry, we have sisters first. Ladies first. If there is no relation after marriage and husband passed away, will there be any iddah? Okay. Okay, that's a good question. If the contract, sister, happen and there's a marriage contract, then the iddah here is, yes, she should go for iddah. Because the wisdom of iddah for passed away is not for reconciliation, is not for to make sure if it's pregnant, it's for something else. Because it's announced in the society that this woman get married with this man, and for some reason he passed away. So it's for type of loyalty after this marriage to stay 4 months till she can get married with another one. Very good question. Very good question, guys. Because sometimes, one day a man came to me and said, how many times? He said, I don't know, 9 or 10. I said, how's that? Do you know it's just 3? No. Because I came to that sheikh, he said, I'm very angry that time. So it's not counted. And I go to that sheikh, it's not counted. So what counted is 8 and 9. So, guys, it's 3 times. Allah said it's 2 times. It means when you give the 3rd, it's finished. So again, the husband gives divorce, and there is a waiting period. During the waiting period, he returned his wife. That count 1. After a while, he gives divorce again. Go to the process of waiting period. He returned his wife during the waiting period. How many now? 2. If he gives divorce after that, it's finished. He can't return her in the waiting period. So at-talaq marratan, and they can't, if that happened, he can't return her. Even if the waiting period is finished, they can't come together. Unless she married with someone else and divorce after divorce, she can. So this is how Allah explained in Surah Al-Baqarah. Allahu a'lam wa sallallahu ala abdi rasulih Sayyidina Muhammad.